to close to summer kind of day.
During the day, it feels that way, right?
It does. It does.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love this weather. I love the sun. As you know, I like to be outdoors.
Exactly.
You know, and we're
weed whacking, cutting grass, all that fun stuff.
Well, I don't know about the weed whacking.
Yeah.
Cutting grass is not that bad. I don't mind.
Nah, cutting grass is fine. It's a good stretch of the legs. The weed whacking, though, especially for us, we don't have a gas-powered one because that seems like too much. And the electric power one always dies, so we end up having the one they have to plug in.
So yeah, I have to plug it in.
Exactly.
That's the best one.
But then it's like when you have to cut something down the hill because we have a long driveway. It's like we have like 3 cords.
3 extension cords. Beautiful. That's what they invented them for.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember. Listen, with the gas power, the problem was that they get so heavy that after a while, it's just like it got to the point where it's just I'd rather have the lighter one with the electrical cords.
Yeah, but it also shakes a lot because it's like gas powered. You ever notice? It's like when lawnmowers get a little old, they start shaking, and then you stop for a while, and then your hands are still shaking like 10 minutes after.
You're shaking, everything's shaking.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is gonna be a great show, though. Right?
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Anytime we have wine, apple cider. When we talk about, apple cider, cider. Hard cider.
Hard cider. It's not apple cider. If you drink it like apple cider,
it comes from apples. It
comes from apples. That's true.
And anytime we have something like that, that's great. It's right up our alley.
Well, that's what Alex and I always used to talk about. It's like those are our favorite shows, right? Where we get to, get a little excitement on the set. So that's always great.
Yeah, love those. Yeah. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's you and me for maybe what is it, second time?
Second time. That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Rob must be a lucky charm because Rob's
that's
here
right.
again.
We were here with Rob last time.
Rob and
that's
Shannon,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, and we have Elizabeth and Guy joining us from Merry Mill Farms today.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's gonna be good too. Yeah, I got some. I'm ready.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michael. This is Xavier. Welcome to Today and Mañana. We have a fantastic show. We were just talking about a little bit. We're going to have Merry Mill Farm and Vineyards on in a few short minutes, and then we'll be followed by Castle Hill Cider. So we got a packed show today.
Absolutely, this is going to be fantastic. And as we mentioned before, when we're talking about things like hard cider and wine, which I have every single night. It's always a good show.
I know. Well, we're definitely drinky people, and the idea of alcohol can get us a little excited. We try not to drink too much on the set, especially since it's still our morning show. But thankfully, we don't do a night show. Otherwise, forget how that would go.
Happy hour.
Happy hour, exactly.
Yeah,
Happy hour today, Mañana show.
Yeah. Listen,
exactly.
Don't they say this happy hour somewhere in the world right now? It's 5 o'clock, right?
That's somewhere in Europe is probably happy hour, right?
There you are. Exactly.
But as always, our show is presented by Merger Financial Services, powered by Craddock Series Insurance, Castle Hill Cider, Charlottesville Opera, and Yo Matias Realty, and powered by Forward Adelante, the premier Latino Business Network.
Very good, excellent.
Okay, I got it done.
That's why I had you do it.
I knew I had to do this.
I can't memorize all that.
I know. And I was like, okay, I gotta do Faba because otherwise Olga will probably come in and go, "Where's Faba?"
And the only thing I have to say, right, is that don't forget to like and share, right?
That's your job.
And subscribe.
There we go.
Those 3 words. That's all I ever have to memorize.
Right. Now we can end the show. Okay,
now we can. Now we can start the show, right?
I think we should start the show. Yeah.
No,
I don't think we have anything more important to talk about than just introducing our great guests.
Elizabeth and the guy are here, and I think they're ready to go either way. So we can't hold them back.
Yeah, so thank you, Elizabeth and the guy from Merry Mill Farms to Vineyard. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much for having us.
So our first question will probably be, how and when did you start Merry Mill Farm and Vineyards?
It all started with a wedding.
That's a good way to start. That's a good way to start.
Our wedding.
When you two got married?
No, it wasn't. We were living in the UK. Okay. I'm English, which you might tell from my accent. I still haven't lost it, I don't think. And Elizabeth is American, but we were living in London, and we came here for a wedding. And Elizabeth did know Charlottesville pretty well. She went to UVA, but I didn't know it at all. And I was just blown away how pretty it is. I just got this vibe about Charlottesville. I loved the size of Charlottesville, the history, and then you got UVA, which just adds in such a kind of another great dynamic. And then, of course, I saw the wedding was actually out in the countryside.
At Castle Hill.
Well, exactly. It was at Castle Hill.
Really?
So
It
I
was.
loved it.
Wow.
Great connection.
See,
Small world.
I know.
This
Well
was done on
started at
purpose, I
Castle
swear.
Hill.
This was
Well
done
done
on purpose. We didn't combine something.
Exactly. And I just saw what was happening with these farms out there, with the cideries and the vineyards and all that. And I came back to the UK, and I kind of said to Lizzie, I was like, why don't we buy a farm outside Charlottesville and set up a vineyard? And
I thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
Completely nuts. I said, no way.
and she thought this would die down, my idea of doing this. And then suddenly I was like, yeah, I've got online and I found a farm for sale. And she's like, what, are you still on this? And and I flew out here and visited Merrymill and saw it, and it was for sale, and convinced Lizzie that this was a good idea, and that's how it started. So
Wow.
yeah.
Had
did
you
you-
had any prior experience
that
to
was my
running? Is
question.
that what your
Yeah.
question?
No,
You
no,
can
no,
ask.
no, doesn't
I
matter who
still
asked the
get to
question.
tape ESP. Father-son connection. But yeah, did you have any prior experience?
Neither has had any of running, growing grapes or running a farm or anything like that. I mean, I think I had some experience about doing the kind of tasting room side of things, the kind of hospitality. Lizzie's from a hospitality background with her family, so there was that side. I think we thought we both could do, but from the growing grapes and all that, it was and
Steep
making
learning
wine and all
curve.
that. Yeah, that
Really
was
steep.
so. it
Especially coming from Great Britain. I mean, they're not really known for their wines.
No,
No.
no, they're not.
Starting to.
There is
Yeah.
a side of it. They're doing
Yeah.
the
Starting to do
sparkling
sparkling.
wine is starting to be, but no, it was a pretty crazy, mad move, and it felt like that for about the first 2 years for both of us.
Now, so how long ago was this?
2018.
Okay, so it's not too long ago. So
Not
they were
too
already growing grapes.
No,
there,
we
and-
planted the grapes.
Oh, you planted the grapes.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
was so when you say it was a farm,
It was. It was.
what did
it
they
was
grow?
a farm, but it was.
was
It
just-
wasn't any active agriculture in probably
Oh, okay,
two
okay,
generations.
okay.
Yeah, I think they had horses on there and maybe some cattle that they rented, but that was about it.
But
So-
we did some soil testing before we moved, and we knew that we could grow grapes, and we knew we
Okay.
had the Virginia red clay, which is what a lot of the vineyards around here have and make wonderful
doubt about
wine.
Well, we thought we had that.
We thought, well, we knew we had it, but
yeah,
then we bought the farm. We did a lot more testing with a lot of professionals we didn't know. We had people come and consult with us, vineyard managers, and we actually have a really special soil on a ridge of the property called Manio.
Okay.
And it's really rocky and well draining, which is what grapes, the vines
Lovely,
want.
yes, yeah.
They don't want to, the vine doesn't want to sit in water.
Yeah.
It dilutes the flavor of the grape. And to have the rocky soil, it's like the vine struggles to find the water. And the harder the struggle, the stronger the vine and the better the fruit. So we really, really lucked out because we have this very, very special soil.
Yeah.
Wow.
And in that testing, did they kind of give you an idea as to what type of grape
Oh,
would
yeah.
grow?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I mean, all that, we knew we had to have like consultants right from the start on everything, because on
Right.
that side of things. So, yeah, right from the start, but it was just so nice to suddenly hear, you've got this soil that is actually really rare here, and it's the best for growing grapes and all this stuff. And on that, we grow 7 different varieties, and one of them we grow as Cab Sauvignon, which isn't typically grown here because they don't necessarily think the red soil it can kind of cope with that.
Right.
But our soil we have it can, which is really exciting.
And we just
So-
released it's our Cab Sauvignon is part of our reserve series, and so we barrel aged this wine longer, and we just released it on May 5th.
Wow.
And it's getting a really, really great feedback. We love it. I think guys drinking a little too much of it sometimes.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You gotta
It's
slow
like-
down.
Cabernet Sauvignon.
gotta
I can
sell
not
it.
drink a lot,
If it's
but,
like it's Monday night and you're drinking our reserve wine, I'm like,
slow
what?
down.
Really?
We
That's
gotta
all right,
sell it.
isn't
No, we gotta sell it.
You need to enjoy some of the fruits of your
Well,
labor.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
Literal
saying, yeah,
fruits
yeah.
of our labor.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So besides Cabernet Sauvignon, what other types of grapes or wines do you have?
We've got our whites. We have a Petit Manseng.
Okay.
We've got a Viognier, which is great for Virginia. Virginia does great
Right,
Viogniers. And we have a Chardonnay, and our Chardonnay is another one of our reserve series that we age longer. And then our reds are Petit Verdot. We've got Merlot, Cab Franc, Cab Sauvignon, and what am I
That's it.
forgetting? Oh, that's it.
I think that's it.
That's an impressive list
That
of
really
red
is.
wines because I know like white wines grow much easier here in Virginia than reds. Like if you go to any other winery, they'll have, I'd say most of the time, like 80%, 75% white wines, but that's an impressive list of red
And
wines.
we also we have a rosé that we make, and it's Cab Franc and Merlot.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised. Again, we were being told this. What should we grow here? What should we do here? And I didn't expect it to be that many grapes. So like, no, you want to have that many, varieties because then we can blend some. And some years it seems that some do better than others and things like that. So it gives you, it gives you more that you can do with it. Yeah.
Interesting.
So how long before you bought the farm in 2018, right? And you planted the vineyards, like what?
2018.
Did you plant all of them or just
Yes.
a few
All
at
of
a
it.
time? All of them in one shot?
All of it.
Yeah,
we
12
have 12
acres,
acres
yeah.
under vine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we lost our first harvest from a really, really late freak
2020.
frost.
Yeah.
In 2020. Everything
Yeah.
happened in 2020.
Yeah, really.
Everything
I
bad.
can see that.
And so we actually lost a whole year.
Wow.
Which was devastating, but, we
Did you
learned-
lose the vines themselves
No,
also?
no,
Okay,
just
thank
the
you.
fruit.
Yeah,
Just
so
the grapes, yeah.
What you do is you have, if it, in the spring you have the buds that come out, and those buds basically turn into your grapes.
Exactly.
And of course, if a frost comes along, it just kills them. And so the vine does grow that year, but it's just got no grapes on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's and annoyingly, when it happened, I remember going like, "Well, does this mean we just don't have to do anything with the vines this year? Look after them, at least the costs down." I was like, "No, afraid not. You pretty much have to do the same, but for
But
no
just no
grapes."
fruit.
I was like, "Oh no."
Oh boy.
So yeah.
So our first vintage was 2021, and
Yeah.
then now we're releasing our second vintage right now. So we've got two wines from the 22 vintage.
So the Cabernet you just released in May, is that
That's from
From 21.
21.
21?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's the thing,
it's
yeah.
18 months.
18 months
Nice,
in a oak
nice.
barrel, yeah. Yeah.
And you,
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I don't want to
No,
come
no,
on.
no, you go ahead.
When it comes to wine, I got some.
Age before beauty. Go ahead.
So, when you age the wine, what kind of barrels do you use?
It's oak barrels. So
Oak,
we've
okay.
got, it's French oak, actually.
French oak,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Most people
But
use
we,
French
but
oak,
we
I
have a
don't know.
winemaker that we luckily work with, and again, that's something that we are still very much still
Yeah, I mean,
learning
we
it,
do
you
that.
know.
The winemaking is out of our wheelhouse, so we found someone who knows how to do it well, and Emily Hodson from Veritas makes our wine. And she's wonderful,
okay,
and she's
okay.
really excited too because she's never made a Cab Sauvignon
Which
because they
is
don't do one at
interesting, you know,
Veritas,
exactly, 'cause
and
they
she's
don't.
never made wine with the soil that we have. So it means she came one day to the vineyard, took a big handful of the soil and put it in a jar on her desk. I mean, she's
Yeah,
that
we're like, what are you
excited
doing with that?
about
She goes,
it.
like, I just have to have sitting this at my desk because it just looks. If you come up where our vineyard is and you scrape away, you honestly can just see the rock and it's a different color from the red
Yeah.
clay and all that stuff. And
That's
it's just,
amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
It
was-
was lucky. It was really lucky that
Yeah. I was having nightmares. It was going to be the other way around. We'd find actually we had a soil after buying the farm that had some animal in it or insect that ruined the whole. That I was just all these nightmares, and to actually have something go your way was
Yeah,
great.
it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we're pretty familiar with the red clay.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that's all we have is red clay.
You don't want it in your house. Or
You
in your
don't want it on your
carpet or and
clothes.
all that.
Oh, forget it. Well, be honest with you, it's terrible for planting some of this stuff too. Because
Yeah.
my mom likes to plant these little flowers all
Yeah.
the time, but
Yeah.
it's like you're digging and it's just like it's hard as a
Yeah.
rock, especially
Yeah,
during
yeah.
the summer. You'd have to get the pickaxe. So those were the worst.
And like you said, it just becomes
days.
if you don't do it right, it just becomes a bowl of
Water,
water.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
just
it's like
dense.
all of a sudden it's not growing, but everything is still wet down
Yeah.
there. It's
Yeah.
like it just
Yeah.
rotted, from too much rain in one day or whatever. Yeah.
We've had that. I mean, we built the tasting room at Murray Mill, and then we had to do all the landscaping. So we planted a lot of plants, and it's kind of interesting the ones that haven't worked because of that, and stuff like that. We have to replant something different and things like that.
Do you have to treat the different grapes differently, or do they get like the same treatment?
They get the same
Same
treatment.
treatment.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
they bud at different times,
Okay.
and you harvest them at different times.
Yeah.
So we'll check the bricks and the sugar levels, and somebody else is doing that, coming and seeing when's the the perfect time to harvest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always know the Chardonnay will be the first. That's always the first to bud, and then it kind of goes on. It goes from there. So yeah.
So basically, they'll grab a grape and then kind of test to
Test
see
it,
what
yeah.
what they do.
Exactly.
Do they
Yeah.
squeeze it and test the sugar level, or is
Yeah,
there
I think they
another-
take it back to the labs, and then they literally exactly squeeze it, get the juice out there, and
figure
test
out
it
what-
for
Acidity
grapes,
and
yeah.
sugar and
just to see if it's right to
Yeah.
make
Exactly.
the
See if
type
it's
of
ready.
wine that you want to
Yeah.
make.
Exactly.
And that's why some years, that's why some vintages are different. For instance, our Merlot in our first 2021 was really, really great. And then last year it wasn't maybe as good because there came some rain at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And then, but the problem is, we looked at it and we were like, we didn't necessarily want to pick it then, but then you get into this thing of like you need to because then the rain and you have to stop spraying before you pick and all this stuff, and it's
Right.
just like then the grapes could go bad, and so there's all this stuff that it's a bit of and that's why you get different vintages and all that.
Of course,
certain ones
of course,
are
yeah.
slightly better than others. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So is kind of the humidity an issue in the sense for the grapes, so they kind of grow mold?
Yeah,
Most
they
of the
can.
spraying, is it for bugs or is it for the
Both.
mold issue?
Yeah, there is a bit of both. The bugs you can Japanese beetles as
Oh, yeah,
well,
don't
which
ma-
I
oh,
mean, if you're
oh,
not going there
God.
yet.
Oh,
Everybody
don't go there.
knows
Don't go there.
I haven't looked up when they first came to America,
I don't
but it's very annoying they have. But actually, they're not. They're not, they're not much. But you have to keep an eye on them, but they're
Right.
not too much problem. So there's those, and then humidity. You would prefer for grape growing not to have the humidity of Virginia.
Right.
You want it to be. If you look at the places like California or
Of course.
Dry heat.
yeah, right. It's exactly. It's a dry heat like
Yeah.
that. And for that reason, though, farmers here have adapted and got clever of how they have to look after.
I mean, I think
grapes,
we've
yeah.
come into the Virginia wine industry at a really good time. We're not reinventing the wheel and trying to figure out how do we grow grapes here. We're coming off the back end of, 70 years of other
Right,
people
right.
doing it. But it's still a young enough industry that I think we can make waves and we can do things differently. And so it's an exciting time to be doing it.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty amazing. I mean, one of the things that's interesting is that, granted, there's wine. I think, in my opinion, has exploded all over the world. I mean, whether it be Italy, Spain, Greece, obviously France, and California. But it just seems like you go so many places now, and all of a sudden you see vineyards, and you
Yeah.
say,
How?
Here?
It's something.
Really?
I read the other day, isn't it? Texas is in America is like the third biggest producer of grapes
Texas?
or wine. Yeah. I mean,
I think I have
don't. If
heard
you look it
something
up,
like
I don't
that.
really understand it, but it's yeah. You're right. You can kind of go anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, one of the things, are these people that are watching the show?
What was that?
No.
No.
I
This
thought
is
you had
just
to
a question, Jerry. I read the question on, but no, go ahead.
No, I
ask.
didn't know if there was a question.
Go ahead, no.
So I remember in California there was an area where they used to grow vegetables, right? This is the Salinas Valley, right?
Right.
And little by little they
Lettuce.
realized, wait a minute, it's a lot easier and cheaper to grow wine. So there's a bunch of wineries just started to come up over there,
and
know,
more
and it's like-
profitable probably, or like
Yeah.
No.
well, obviously, it was there. The biggest issue is that they just don't get any rain. Right?
Right,
During,
yeah.
during the summer, there's just no rain.
Yeah, yeah.
They get their rain in the winter.
Yeah.
So for the grapes, it's like, hey,
Yeah, they're
this is
happy.
great.
They're
This is
loving
exactly
it.
what I want.
They're
Very little
loving it.
rain.
They have such deep roots, they keep
Yeah.
on growing that they really, we've had, I think it was our 2021 was such a dry year, and I was like, are they going to be all right? They're going to be, and they're
And
like,
they love
yeah,
it.
I'll be fine,
I love it.
Yeah, they pretty much the drier the better in a way for quality. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have an interesting question. So you recently acquired Feast. Can you kind of go into us and
Yeah.
talk to us about why you kind of purchased them and how you kind of plan on maybe incorporating them into Maryville Farm?
Sure, I'd love to. So the Feast opportunity came to my plate, and it wasn't the best time to buy another business because Mary Mill is still really new. We're just about to have our second anniversary, the end of this month, but it was an opportunity I had to take. It's such a wonderful institution,
It really is.
and I am finding that everybody loves Feast,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody's very attached to Feast. And there's, every single person has some item on the menu or some item on the shelves that they can't live without. So we could really see the synergies between Mary Mel and Feast, and so it just really made sense. We've just started serving the Feast products at Mary Mel, which is really elevating our food experience at Mary Mel
Perfect.
massively.
Yeah.
So we've brought over some of the top sandwiches, and then our sharing platters, which are pimento cheese, hummus, chicken salad. It's all coming from Feast, and it's wonderful, and people are loving it, and we've gotten great feedback. And likewise, we want to sell our
That's what I
wine
said.
in
It's a perfect-
Feast.
yeah, it's a perfect,
So right now, we only sell out of our tasting room. So Feast would be, the first retailer. I'm finding it's not as simple as just selling your wine in your shop. You've got to go through a lot of red tape and licensing and permitting.
Is that like the ABC license?
Yes. Yeah. So we haven't gotten there yet. We're still in the process of doing that. But, and I think the brands make a lot of sense together, too. It's great quality, it's great taste, it's great curation, and it just made sense. And so it was a big step, and it was, we were kind of like adding a whole nother thing onto our plate. But
Well, nearly this one is funny. I think Lizzie thought I was crazy when I first said, let's go out and do it. When this came on, I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that, are we? And then Lizzie was like, I think it's a good idea. I was like, what? This has been so much work and stress and whatever like this. And,
And we've had a couple
And-
babies in between this too.
Yeah, yeah.
So it just keeps piling on.
I was like, but I can't, I'd be such a, I can't tell you not to do it since I convinced you to do the
but
first
I mean,
one.
it's
So-
been a
so,
great
yeah.
since I took over in January. All of the staff at Feast have stayed on under my leadership, and they are wonderful. They're my most valuable asset. They know
Yeah.
the business better than I do, and I'm learning it and loving it. And going to make some really positive improvements to an already really thriving, wonderful business.
And it's also, marketing-wise, it's great for us. I mean, the amount of people I've met out at Mary Mill that have been like, we're out here because of Feast, because we heard you, we hadn't actually heard of you, but we heard, obviously we know Feast. And so,
And
it's been
likewise,
great,
people
yeah.
go to
Yeah.
Mary Mill and say, "Oh, I haven't been to Feast."
Yeah.
And
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
a lot of cross promotion that can be happening, and growing of these two businesses together, which is it's really interesting to have a very young business, Mary Mill, and then to come into this 21-year-old institution. So it's totally different, but they work well together, and we're really excited about the synergies and ways to grow these two businesses together.
And it goes perfect because one thing about Feast is, as you mentioned, the quality, right,
great,
of their
yeah.
foods
Yeah.
is fantastic. And so when you have that quality and you can add a quality wine with it, right?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
I mean, that's something the product you say is, you have to nearly tell everyone, don't worry, we're not going to change the actual
everybody's
product. I
very
mean,
worried about change.
We might add things on, but it's like, because poor Lizzie's had people, on the side, if you dare take
Threatening
take away this or that.
Don't
you
take
know,
away
yeah,
those
yeah,
cheese
yeah.
crunchies.
Don't mess with the
everyone
tuna
has,
melt.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
get
it's
sort
like-
of threats on Instagram.
Threats,
like,
imagine that.
"Don't mess
I don't
with
think
my
anything's
tuna
going to be
melt."
taken away, but maybe things
No,
will be
no,
added.
it's
so,
going to be
yeah.
all positive improvements to
Yeah.
an already really thriving, wonderful business.
Have
Yeah.
you started potentially pairing like certain foods that you have at Feast with certain wines?
We haven't. I mean, we are doing a Friday wine tasting at Feast where we're pairing some of the wines in the
Okay.
shop with a product, a cheese or a cracker or something. And so we're doing that, but we haven't. I think at the tasting room, all of our food it's shareable and it's easy. And it just pairs well with the wine naturally, but we haven't done any specific food pairings. It's
I
something
know
we
because
could
my brother
think about for the
Nicholas,
future.
he was he's big into wine,
Yeah.
and he's the kind of person who'll be like, oh, this wine, you have to have with this cheese. If you have this cheese, then you have to go with this wine. So he would have probably been here like another 20 minutes explaining. To us,
I think our sort of mentality at Mary Mill it's casual, and we don't ever want anyone to feel like you have to know something. You don't have to come in knowing about wine. We just want you to have a really great experience.
I mean, the cheeses we have at Feast, I think maybe that is something that
Yeah.
will happen. At the moment, it hasn't quite happened that they've come over to Mary Mill, but that, I think if that can happen, then I think that would start to happen more, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's an experience too. I mean,
Yeah.
so the one thing that I always say is that everybody has different palates, because sometimes it's like, they make you pair things, and then I taste it, it's like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I would still rather have my cab or something
Yeah,
like that,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So
But
everybody's
sometimes there
palate.
are classic combinations like
no,
Stilton
of
and blue
course.
cheese.
Yeah, yeah,
I hear,
exactly.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
You
I
know,
mean,
there's so
Stilton
many-
with pork.
There's
Stilton- what
opportunity.
did I say?
I don't Stilton blue cheese, but
Oh no, I meant Stilton and Port. Did I just?
yeah. I mean, that's just a Winston Churchill thing, though. I mean,
Your
he
brother's gonna
invented that.
really.
I know that. That was a
Shaking
big
his head
boo-boo.
somewhere. He's
I
going,
know that
"Oh,
was a big
gosh."
boo, but that was shameful.
was
I
that?
apologize.
Yeah.
So, where can people find you?
In Keswick.
In Keswick?
In
That's close
Charlottesville.
by.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Route
At Feast.
231, which is this
Okay.
thing, Route 231 out of Charlottesville.
Yeah, Mary
which is
Mills
very-
in Keswick.
Yeah.
Feast is on Main Street in Charlottesville.
Perfect.
And we've got a social media presence, Feast,
Okay.
Seaville, and Mary Mill Farm and Vineyard. Facebook, social. We've got
Website?
Friday. I'm sorry?
You have a website too?
We have a website, www.marymillfarm.com.
Yeah.
And on Friday nights, you can find us. We do a Sundowner series at Mary Mill.
Ah.
So we have an
All year?
outdoor
Yeah.
stage.
Well, no, we just launched it, and it goes
Okay.
all through the
It started
summer
May
season,
5th.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And we've got live music every Friday night
Every Friday
outside,
night,
and we stay open till 9. So you can see the sun go down,
Yeah.
and that's
No,
where
it's-
you'll find us most Friday nights if you
Yeah,
actually want to find us
Yeah.
with our children running around.
And then we
But
do
yeah.
Sundays, we do jazz every Sunday, so kind of chill jazz.
Oh,
So we
wow,
have
okay.
that we really leaned into the live music, and so that's every single week doing that. So you can come, do that.
And come get your
Yeah.
sandwiches at Feast
Yeah,
anytime, and catering and party platters. It's a great combination.
No, it is. Last week we were talking about Charlottesville, and again, the surrounding areas of Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
And I went
Well,
on your
amazing,
website,
yeah.
and it's just a beautiful spot.
Yeah,
Wow.
thanks. Come see us.
Oh, we'll
wonder
definitely
you
be
bought
there. Don't you worry about that.
Great. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
both
Thank you so
It's
much.
really
Appreciate
wonderful.
it.
Yes, great. Thank you.
You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Wow.
That was great, right?
Yeah, you know what? It's I love talking. I mean, obviously, I love eating and drinking and things like that.
You like
just yeah. No, I mean, it's just so the combination of foods and wine, I've always said is really what's important in the sense of whatever is you're drinking. I mean, as you know, when I grew up, my parents didn't have wine before meal. They only had wine during their meal, right? So
Yeah.
we were introduced in that fashion, and I think that whole combination is just fantastic. So it was nice. Wow, what is that?
I know. From one fantastic guest
That looks
to
a little
another,
Cuban.
yeah.
That looks Cuban. Wait
There's
a minute,
something going on this table here. We're about to find out, right? So, a big welcome to our next two guests, Rob and Josie from Castle Hill Cider.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you both for being here.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
That's a big thank you.
I know. I'm just gonna straight up ask, what do we have right here on the table?
We have mojitos.
Mojitos.
Mojitos. I know. A Cuban girl, gotta bring mojitos.
There
you know?
you forget.
It's not Mojito Monday, but it's, but Mojito
Mojitos are-
Thursday.
absolutely,
yes.
yeah.
Mojitos are good throughout the entire week. It doesn't have to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, it's good all the whole week.
You just
Oh,
have extra
7
on
days a
Monday.
week.
Mojito Mondays, you just have an extra one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this
exactly.
leads us into May 19th. We're going to have
yeah.
salsa
Yep.
Salsa.
at Castle
Oh, the
Hills.
dancing thing.
Yeah. So some
and
dancing.
I know you're gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
Get some
yes.
mojitos, get your dance on. It's going to be a good night.
It's gonna be really fun, and it's free to come and learn how to
How
salsa
to-
dance.
how to salsa
And
dance.
it's the Cuban way.
Better.
So yeah, it's gonna be
That's
fun.
the only
We
way.
won't wanna
That's
do
the only
anything.
way to learn that salsa, the Cuban way.
I mean, I'm biased. I can't say that. But yeah.
Right. Excuse me. We're Cuban too. It doesn't have to be biased. The truth is the truth. It's
That's
not
right.
biased.
That's true. That's
It
true.
is the
That's
truth.
true.
But I'm sure
Fantastic.
you didn't want me to sidetrack from you guys getting your glasses, so we can talk a little bit about the cocktail.
Yeah, sure. Tell us a
Absolutely,
little bit
yes.
about what's in there.
Explain.
Well, we just launched our new menu. Let's just start there.
Oh,
Whoa.
So
okay,
we
okay.
just
New menu.
launched a whole new menu, which is very, very exciting. New food, new cocktails. So, we're forever growing and expanding at Castle Hill. And, again, I always say this, cider is such a youthful industry. And so there's a lot to grow and learn from and expand upon. And so we love pushing those boundaries. And that's exactly what we're doing with our new menu.
Yeah, and so we have a new taste room manager.
Yep, his name is Mike Stewart. He's absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he's worked really, really carefully on the cocktails and curating them, and it's been such an amazing experience to watch him not only be incredibly intentional with it, but, creative. we have to be creative, okay? Because obviously we're drinking cider, you know. If you think of, for example, we have a spicy margarita on the new menu. Okay, well, you think tequila. Well, obviously we can't put tequila with our cider, you know. That's making...
Sometimes you want to.
Yeah, right.
After a
You
hard
can
day.
do that at home,
Yeah,
but, you know, that
but not
would
at Castle Hill.
be breaking a lot
Yes.
of ABC laws. So
Yes.
we have to get creative, and by we, I mean Mike.
Yes.
And he does that, you know. So we find, you know, alternate options that we can really expand on the flavor and bring you that familiar taste in, you know, the spirit cocktail that you're used to. So for example, let's say the mojito, but we still want our cider to shine, right? So the mojito that's in front of us now, it's made with our rum barrel aged cider, because you find rum in a
So good.
mojito. And so we really let that shine. This is a little bit of a simpler approach with the cocktail. We add a simple syrup, lime, mint, and we just let it showcase. It's fabulous.
That's amazing. So you literally, what you decided to do was to take that cider, put it into rum barrels, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Fermented. That's brilliant. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great. I mean, I would never think of that.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be honest with you. I mean, you know, so I grew up with in Spain. They have the sidra, right? But it's only one type of sidra, right? Which we used to have usually in New Year's Eve, and it's on a sweeter side. And when you guys introduced me to the different ciders you have, it is amazing. I mean, the different ones. I mean, the ones that taste like port. I mean,
Yes.
every
The
single one.
varieties.
I don't know. I don't remember the names. I don't have that kind of memory. Alex, and Michael probably remember all the names. But all I know is that every one I taste is different.
Yes.
And you can pair them with different things. It's just what you guys have done to apples. Something I never thought would be possible, really.
Well, the cool thing about it is that it's only limited by our imagination. So we take something and we just keep pushing the envelopes of what you can do with it, and that's a part that keeps you coming back for more, right?
Yeah, and being inspired by everything around you. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Whether
Yeah.
that's travel, a food dish, or a spirited forward cocktail, being like, why can't you do this with cider? You know, we've already found so many ways and so many different profiles on an apple and what it can do.
That's right.
So, you know, yeah. But yeah, so in regards to the menu, we have, I think, well, let's see,
Something is
4,
definitely new
8
is the
cocktails.
burrata.
Yeah, that's the food.
That's the food. Are we
Oh.
doing cocktails still? Because I'm already jumping to food. My head's been on that burrata.
Well, we have
the whole
8 cocktails right now, which is massive.
Do-
Eight. Are these
Push
8 new
this?
ones or mix some with the old ones? Or these 8
so
new
there
cocktails?
are some old ones. So you still have like our
Okay.
frozen rosé. That's a classic, especially when it's hot outside.
Yeah.
We still have our Landy Mule, which is our take on a Moscow Mule.
Okay.
And it's called the Landy Mule because we have a vintage 1955 Land Rover that is converted into a bottle service bar.
Oh, such a
I've
great
seen
year,
that.
I've seen
We
that.
1955.
call it
yeah.
our Landy Bar.
Yes.
So the Landy Mule. But the new ones, you have, you know, our spicy margarita. It's a ginger spicy margarita. We have a cider all spritz, which is my favorite.
Yeah, it's both of our favorites. I'll tell a
We've
story
been
about
banned
that. Yeah,
from using the tap.
So Mike was doing his testing, like to see how long they would last in the corny kegs. And so he came back one day and he's like, it was like the 5th day, and he's like, there was no more cider all spritz. And he's like, I know that you and Josephine are the only 2 that have been drinking these. And I was like, I can neither confirm nor deny these charges that are against me. But that's how good it was, is that we just...
He told me he was hiding some of his test bashes. And I said, you can just say it's because of me. It's okay. Like, you know, I know what I've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing. And cider all spritz, to me, again, it's Aperol, our take on an Aperol spritz.
Exactly.
We don't use Aperol in it. We use Lear's. Lear's is a brand that Mike familiarized us with at Castle Hill, and they do non-alcoholic spirits. So they really get that flavor profile
Gotcha.
with being
Gotcha.
0 proof,
Yes.
which is really, really cool. So that's really what we've been tapping in and utilizing. And we also make a Boulevardier, which is really impressive. We have a Pommeau that's been aged for 5 years in a Woodford Reserve whiskey cask. But we bought these cute little barrels, and we, again, as Mike, not we, not me, but after he makes his cocktail, he puts it in that barrel, and he lets that rye from the barrel, you know, really infuse in the cocktail, making it fabulous. Like, it's mind-blowing. I was like, I'm drinking cider? What is happening right now? But yeah, so come out and try the cocktails, but let's try the mojito now.
Yeah, no, really.
I mean, we have it,
Thank
and I'm
you.
thirsty.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
Salud. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And tonight, come get your mojito. We have live music on Thursday nights right now, and we have discounts. We call it Thirsty Thursdays. So,
Oh, this is good.
This just keeps getting better.
Delicious.
I know.
This is
Oh,
terrific.
wow.
Wow.
Nice
That
work,
hits a
Mike.
spot. That
Oh,
hits
yeah.
the spot. Wow.
And it's true. My initial flavor on the tongue is thinking I'm drinking a mojito.
That's
but
right.
after it settles down, I suddenly kind of remember it's like, no, I'm actually still drinking cider. I'm tasting the apple. I'm tasting more of a. But yeah, I don't know whether it's like because it's aged in rum barrels, but yeah, it's like my tongue
yeah,
is
the
like.
first
thing is
taste bud is
mojito.
like mojito.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I was doing jumping
That's-
jacks when he was like, "Do you want to taste some stuff?" And I was like, first of all, duh.
Yeah.
You know?
That's your favorite part of the day, right?
First of all, of course, we'll never say no to that. But second of all, once I tried it, I just looked at him and I was like, "Shut up! This is real. You did this." I was like, "I'm
That's
so
incredible.
happy we have you."
That's incredible, yeah.
But yeah, no. So I'm like his biggest fan at the moment. You know, with all the cocktails that we have. But food, we do have a new burrata dish.
I know, because we have friends telling us that like they have a new burrata. And we're like, we're Italian. Like, we love
Fig,
burrata.
peaches, a little bit of balsamic
It's like you made
glaze.
the Italian menu just for us or something. I don't know. It's like,
We pulled a little bit of everything. So we have the burrata, we have a beautiful Greek salad, really rustic, refreshing.
Shishito peppers.
Shishito peppers, which are just, again,
I
they
love-
pair great with cider.
Yeah.
And they're simple, you know, put them on stovetop. We have some Himalayan salt on top of them.
So good.
They're fabulous.
That's a crushable dish.
Absolutely. Let me see. We have, you know, we've done our panini flight for a long time, which is all of our small, you know, we make smaller versions of
Right.
paninis and you can kind of do a tasting. That was the whole concept behind it. But we now have big sandwiches to keep you guys full and come and have dinner. And so, yeah, we have. An
Well, if we're
amazing
going to taste all
prosciutto
those
panini.
ciders, we need to have big sandwiches.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So you can keep trying more.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah,
That's
lots
incredible.
of fun
And then
stuff.
probably the other thing you had to hide from us was the Nightingale ice cream sandwiches. that
Oh
we have.
yeah, we do have Nightingale ice cream sandwiches.
So what is that?
Oh my gosh.
Nightingale. I mean,
I don't know if they're local. I don't know much
don't-
about the company. I just know they're
Amazing.
delicious. I
Yes.
almost
they
used
must
a bad
be
word.
delicious. You got so excited.
They're heckin'
they didn't even
delicious.
describe them.
It's almost okay. So it's an ice cream bar, but the top it's really like fresh baked cake, but it's like, you know, it's not soft, it's not hard either. You know what I mean? It's right in the
Yes.
middle, but. Oh,
It's
it's,
just right.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a massive ice cream sandwich. I have to stay away from the kitchen at
Yes.
Castle Hill because
Wow.
everything is so good.
Wait, you have to stay away from the kitchen, stay away from the bar. Where do you stay at Castle Hill?
I try to stay in my
In
office.
the office. We keep her locked in there sometimes. I mean, no, we don't lock her in there.
But yeah, so
Wow.
yeah.
This, I mean, you know, I'm telling you, you guys are just kind of creating a whole new road for cider. I mean, how you are creating these drinks. I mean, this guy is just fantastic.
The next level.
Yeah, it really is.
And-
And you know what? I mean, in the end, also, apples are good for you, right?
Oh, yeah, fiber,
this is-
so much
like, this
fiber,
stuff is
okay?
healthy. So this stuff is healthy.
Exactly. That's
Apple
what,
a day keeps the doctor
that's what I
away.
like to say when I'm drinking at my desk during the day. No.
No.
No, so I mean,
We
you guys,
wish.
you guys just had the Pellies on from Mary Mill, and so they were on for the 231. I'm speaking about some things we have going on.
Right.
We don't all, you know, it's not all about cocktails. It's about giving back to community for us, and so we are doing the 231 Fest.
Again,
Again.
second annual. That's coming up
That's
as
right.
well.
That's in June, right?
Yep, June
June
10th.
June 10th.
12 to 6 p.m. It's in-
231fest.com.
Yep.
Or
And-
CastleHillCider.com to get tickets.
Yeah,
You can
absolutely.
find it either one. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep, and it benefits the Blue Ridge Food Bank. Last year we provided 68,000 meals through the festival, and we're looking to double that this year. So ticket purchase, you know, percentage of that goes to the food bank. We have sponsors as well, directly donating to the food bank. I mean, we all like to party, right? But when we're partying and doing something good, I mean, like double
That's
win.
even better.
Double win.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the activities are so much fun. Of course, with your ticket, you get tastings. We have food trucks, you know, live music. Everything that you had last year, now we took it up a level. So we have Orvis coming and doing complimentary fly fishing classes all day. We've expanded our kids area. We have expanded our VIP area, and we've brought on a lot of new partners, which we'll be, you know, announcing soon. And I'm sure we'll come back and talk all about the festival. But when I say there's a lot to do, I am not kidding.
Yes.
So yeah, that's gonna be
I
exciting.
mean, you guys have an enormous amount of space out there, right?
Yes,
I mean, you have the
650
views, you have a
acres.
gorgeous place, and so I mean, when you go to your events, just getting there is exciting in itself, and to have all this added to it, It's just amazing. It really is.
I always say the worst part about the festival for me is that I can't attend it because I'm throwing it and working it. But but besides the festival, we have some stuff happening really, really soon. Obviously, we have Thirsty Thursday tonight, so definitely come out and
Thirsty Thursday.
Thirsty Thursdays, live music. You get discounts on cider
Every Thursday?
Every Thursday night, and we
Oh.
stay open till 8 p.m. on Thursdays. So you get to hang out, watch the sunset. It's phenomenal.
A gorgeous sunset.
Then we have salsa, which we talked about. But this weekend is Mother's Day, so we have a few tickets left. We have a flower.
Mother's Day. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
You better start hearing about that.
What do we forget to do?
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, you should book your mom as part of the flower class.
Yes, we have a floral workshop that we're doing with Aisling Flowers. Oh my gosh, why did I forget her last name? It's Aisling. I think it's Aisling Flowers. I can't believe I forgot that. Don't kill me.
That mojito's already having
I know, right? She's
much rum in
fabulous.
that one.
She's also local in Keswick, and so we have 6 tickets left. So hop on, get them. You can get them through our website. Our whole entire calendar's on our website, castlehillcider.com. And there are multiple events. I mean, we try to keep things exciting, right?
Do you still do like Sunday brunches?
We are not doing Sunday brunches right now.
Okay.
With our new menu launch, we're focusing on that, and then we're going to start adding in some more fun stuff as we go.
And one of the things we might add back in that was wildly successful was the tea.
Royal tea as well.
And
We
we're
did
getting
that
ready.
for a
We're getting
while.
ready to. Yeah, we're actually getting ready to reset our back. Are we calling it veranda?
Terrace.
Terrace. There we go. Sorry, I always get it wrong. So we're getting ready to reset that, and we have some new furniture coming in, and we think with that we're going to try to scope that out as a
Absolutely.
Sunday event to
Right.
come for Royal Tea.
And when you do the royal tea, are you doing just tea or is it cider? How's
So
that
you
work?
get a champagne flute with our cider in it, and,
Ah, okay.
and then you get a classic, tea. You have your tier. It's tea for two. We work with local companies to have local tea. You get to sample it, choose what you'd like, and it's full service. But when you come to Castle Hill, again, I think what Mary Mill was saying too, we really relate to is we really want you to make the experience your own. So it is more of a casual approach of like, this is all we have to offer, and you can choose how you want to spend your time here.
Yes.
If you want to go up to the bar, grab a drink, and just sit and soak in the views, do it. If you want to have a very bougie experience, we will give that to you as well.
That's
and
right.
we have activities for that. So it's up to you, which is what I love.
Yeah, just speaking personally, I'd probably, if I go for tea, I kind of skip the line and go to the cider. I'm just not a tea kind
Yeah.
of
We can just
Right.
keep giving you.
I mean, unless you
cider.
made it, if you make a tea out of cider,
Exactly.
I'll drink it.
You can call it tea. Just give me, something.
It
hard.
looks just like tea, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
We used to have a cocktail called Bless Your Heart, which was a spiked sweet tea.
It was very
But the
good.
cider we used in it, we are currently sold out of, but we're making more of. So it's no longer on our menu. But
Are there any more exciting ciders coming out that we don't know of, like a
yeah,
Palmetto?
so we actually sold out of our eau de vie line, which is made with apple brandy.
Okay.
And that really, really took off.
Yeah.
And so we're making more, which is very, very exciting. Right now, we still have the 5-year Palmo. That was a
Okay.
newer launch. But we're continuing the line, which, years and years ago, they did not know if we would be doing that because people didn't know what it was and they hadn't tried it quite yet. And people weren't expecting it to be so spirit forward, the people who were having it.
Yes.
They were thinking more dessert wine, sweet, subtle, but it really has that pack of punch. You've tried it
I
before,
tried it.
our
It's
ports
just
and
amazing.
Palmo.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have ports and barrel right now that we're hoping to come out with November, December timeframe, but that'll really
Perfect. That's perfect
Yeah.
time to have some port.
Exactly.
have
And
some
so,
new-
but
new
we're
levity
We're gonna have to
too,
try that
which
with the
is
Stilton
awesome.
to see.
but
I'll pass on the Stilton. We'll find another cheese to do it.
no, we just tasted it recently. And it's still a little bit hot, so it'll just take some more time and barrel to meld, and we think that's when it's going to come out. But it's really based upon taste. So we're not going to put out any cider that we don't think is up to our standards. We have very high standards of ourselves and of our products. So until they're ready, that's when they're ready.
Yeah, no, trust me, we know all about your ciders. I mean, every time, and credit to Don and all your cider makers as well.
Shout
because-
out to Dawn.
Yeah, because every time I've tasted a cider, again, I am amazed the different flavors that come out of, like, some are strong, and dry. Sometimes others are more sweety. Sometimes some got an apple flavor. Sometimes the other day,
Sometimes you're like, is this even made out of apples?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like something's got like a real earthy flavor. I'm like, how is this like possible? It's like, two different ciders coming out with such different taste. And
It's all the apples. It
is.
We have over 44 different kinds of apples
Yes.
on site, and each one delivers a totally different profile. And so Don really works hard. When we do some ciders at our orchard blends, where we have, Black Twig is a single varietal that we do, but Don does actually take multiple apples and he'll blend them together. Serendipity is a blend of, I think, four apples, 3 apples.
2 this year, yeah.
Oh, this coming year.
Yeah.
In the past, but and it's year by year, and how his favorite word, the terroir. It's his favorite word. We in house we say take a sip every time Don says terroir but it's true. Terroir, it's all about the land. It's all about the weather. It's everything surrounding an orchard or even a vineyard.
Yeah.
So you're tasting all these different profiles because there are so many different apples with different profiles.
I know, it's incredible. And then now how you're incorporating them now into drinks. I mean, that's also pretty special because I don't know about you, but you go to other cider places, it's sort of like, okay, here's the cider, that's it. But you're kind of like infusing them into these drinks, and it's coming out like incredible. Like, again, I feel like I'm drinking a mojito, but I'm also at the end, I'm like, no, it's a cider. Like at the end, it's just like kicking in, and it's incredible.
Well,
One
thank
of the things I also love about you guys is that every single person, at least that I've met, right, there's an exuberance. And I mean, when I think also about Don, and so I can just
Yes.
see Don with like 40 or 50 different varieties of apples, and him just like smoke coming out of his head trying to figure out which apples do I blend this year, right,
Oh,
to
very
see what
much
comes
so.
up, you
Yeah,
know?
that's
And
pretty
that's
accurate.
and that's what makes it so special is that you all have this passion for making things so good that that when you guys say taste this, it's like it's a done deal. This is good. I know it's good. It's just how good is it?
Well, I mean, the passion is I said it earlier, but the passion is what keeps us coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
we're there to make money. I mean, that's
Of course.
that's every business. But at the same time, what gets you out of bed in the morning, what gets you excited, is when new things come along or new opportunities, and those are the things that we're like, whoa.
Yeah.
We're exploring some different opportunities, maybe to make like a sizer with Thistle Rock, which is a new meatery. We have a meeting with them tomorrow.
So many different ideas.
But yeah, we just keep coming up with different things. Josephine loves when I just lean over and whisper in her ear, like, "Hey, I just booked."
Oh my God, he does this to me all the time. He's like, by the way, you're going to be planning this big thing, like in 2 weeks. And I'm like, wow.
2 weeks, okay. Why
Honestly,
why so
but you know
long?
what? I'm like, no problem. Done deal. We're going to throw Fabulous Bash. Everyone's
Just
going to
make
love
me a
it.
quick mojito, and then I'll get to work, right?
Pretty much, I go, where's the tap?
Exactly.
Tap in my notepad and we'll be fine. No, but he does do that to me.
But the nice thing is it keeps it interesting. And so after the 231 Fest, keep an eye on our calendar on CastleHillCider.com because we're going to have a lot of interesting things coming up. I mean, we already have them in the works, but I'm going to focus in short term rather than go and say, look at all the things we have for the rest of the year.
I mean, here's the thing. Check our calendar online.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
it's constantly being updated, and there are so many new things we're adding. And I always say this, to the team, and everyone kind of looks at me crazy, but the pasta theory is what I call it.
Yes.
And I'm a songwriter as well, so I'm in the music industry. I've been. in the
When are
music
you
industry.
singing at Castle Hill?
I'm actually singing at Maryville on their Friday Sundown series on May 26th from 5:30
Really?
to 8:30. Yeah, too. He thought I was cheating. I was like, "They're our friends. I'm not cheating." if I did it at Castle Hill, I'd be like, "Hi, I work at Castle Hill. Come see me." I'm like, "No, let me not do that." But yeah, no. So in the music industry. Someone told me the pasta theory, and I was like, what are you talking about, the pasta theory? And they go, everyone loves pasta. Like, if you don't like noodles, you're probably a little bit crazy, right? Everyone likes some kind of noodle and pasta. But
That's right.
would you want to eat pasta 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the rest of your life?
You're asking personally?
Oh, okay. Well, you might get a little bit bored. You might want to switch it up. You might want to have like a piece of fruit or whatever, something refreshing. And so that's our idea, right? We have cider, but every time you come back, we want to keep growing, and we want to give you something new or a new experience to have, whether
Exactly.
that's an outside activity, a brand new menu. And so that's why Rob keeps throwing stuff on, at me to curate. But I love that because it is a beautiful vessel at Castle Hill. Like inside, it's 10,000 square feet, a beautiful white barn. We're 650 acres with beautiful views of the
Oh, absolutely
mountains, the
stunning.
greenery, the pond. I mean,
Yeah.
it is gorgeous.
And the flowers this year.
And so the flowers are phenomenal.
That's Steve.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, he killed it on the flowers along the front of the white barn.
But we,
I was sorry.
yeah, no, they're gorgeous.
I'm having a moment.
They're gorgeous.
Is that beautiful? Yeah.
I threatened him that I'm going to pick them all for my house. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful space, and we have a lot of weddings. So, we have to find a way to create and curate these outside events and still flip for weddings. And there's a lot of things that go into that. But we love seeing the reaction from the consumer and from the customer. And I mean, down to the fact, how many people propose at our place, like, per day? And I'm just like, this is so beautiful. People are making memories here for the rest of their life. And that's my passion behind it. I mean, we want to give memories to people, and experiences. Even if it's, salsa class or
keeping everything fresh and exciting at Castle Hill,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's wonderful. So quick rundown of events. You got Thirsty Thursdays every Thursday, correct?
Every Thursday.
Live music
till 8 p.m.
Till 8 p.m.
We have food. We have food in house as well as good ciders.
Food to keep everyone hungry and wanting more cider.
Yeah, come have dinner. Come have dinner at
There we
Castle
go.
Hill.
Okay. Next Friday you have salsa at Castle Hill, correct?
Yep. And this Saturday we have the Mother's Day Floral Workshop.
This
Again,
Saturday,
still
Mother's
some
Day
tickets.
Floral Workshop. And then on June 10th, is it?
Yep, 231 Fest.
231 Fest.
231 Fest.
Yeah, absolutely. The complete rager. It's going to be awesome.
And
amazing.
we are closed on Mother's Day this year. So
Yeah,
we have a wedding.
We have a wedding
the whole
today,
day.
yeah.
Okay.
So please come see us. Don't come see us on Sunday because you'll be disappointed because we're closed.
Unless you crash the wedding.
Crash the wedding?
Maybe.
No.
No. He said maybe.
No.
You stole my idea.
But yeah,
Awesome.
no, lots of
and we
exciting
can people can keep track of events at castlehillcider.com.
Yeah, also on Instagram, Castle Hill Cider is our handle, at Castle Hill Cider. But again, our calendar on our website is going to be your
Got
best ticket to all information.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Bookmark that on your browser.
Just keep
exactly.
Just keep going and find out what's next. Yeah.
And always just DM us on Instagram. MJ and I both run the Instagram account, and we're very quick to respond. Any questions, you want a reservation, you want to throw a party, whatever you need, just hit us on Instagram too. You can DM us. We'll be right there.
And what's the name on Instagram? What's the name of
At
the
Castle Hill Cider.
At Castle Hill.
Yeah, sweet and easy.
Absolutely.
easy.
Once
Well,
you know
cheers.
Castle Hill-
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
us.
Come on, no.
It's always a pleasure.
Same
No,
here. Wonderful.
it's even a bigger pleasure for us.
This is great. Wow.
That was fantastic. They got so much going on at Castle Hill. It's incredible.
like I said, the place is stunning, right?
It is.
The cider
Cider's
is
delicious.
just
And
so.
I'm always loving how they're finding different ways of incorporating cider into their menu. It's not just, okay, here's our list of ciders, that's it. No, it's like, no, let's try to find different ways
Yeah.
of bringing this to people.
Yeah.
And especially now in even more popular ways, because let's be honest, I would look at Charlottesville, there's a very drink atmosphere in there, and I don't mean that in a negative sense, but like people like to go out and drink. But it's always not just drinking, beer or wine. People like their cocktails.
Yes.
And now it's sort of like they're trying to infuse cider with their cocktails. I think that's incredible. I think it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, and and like I mentioned, there's so many beautiful places, and Castle is one of those places where you go there, and you can have good food, you can have different ciders, you can have these particular cocktails, right? And just sit down and relax and enjoy it. And then of course, when they have their festivals, it's just it's a win-win. I mean,
Exactly.
At that point, you can have
And
fun.
they got a lot of events going on. So definitely check out castlehillcider.com or Castle Hill Cider on Instagram or Facebook, wherever they're located.
Yeah, it's definitely a place where you want to keep an eye on
Absolutely.
because it's on a beautiful day like even like
Well, now
today.
that, especially now
It's
that it's
Thursday
getting
today is the
warmer,
perfect.
it's the sun's staying out longer. Now's the time, especially
Oh,
to be
yeah.
going out.
Yeah.
The winter, it's kind of hard to kind of go out places that they're far away. It's getting dark early, but now it's warm. The sun's out. I mean, now's the time from May till August. I
Definitely,
mean, you need to
definitely.
go outside and get some fresh air and some drinks and some good food and enjoy life.
This is exactly. I mean, life is about enjoying it. This is a good way to do it. No doubt about it.
Well, Xavier, I had a wonderful show with you today.
Well, it's good. I know that. I think it was last week we talked about music because I know the opera is having their, Tosca.
Oh, yes. And
And
Guys and Dolls, if I'm
Guys and
correct.
Dolls. Yeah, I always say
Yes.
Tosca first because that's a.
And when is that happening? In June?
In June,
Sometime
yeah,
in June.
in June,
Yes,
yeah.
you
I don't
definitely
have the
to check
specific
out.
dates, but yeah, you have to go
check
take
out
a look at that because
charlesopera.com, yeah.
these are opportunities that you find here in Charlottesville that some places just don't have. I mean, unless you, like if you live in New York, yes, you're going to have lots of opportunities. You don't have Castle Hill in New York, that's for sure, and you got to drive 3 hours to get anywhere close to what Castle Hill provides 20 minutes away, right? But having the ability to go to an opera like Tosca or Guys and Dolls is a more...
Well, that's more like a musical, but
so it's a musical, so it captures
Tosca's,
a
I think,
different...
is going to be an event, because already we were talking to some friends of ours, and they were like, oh my gosh, there's an opera, can we dress up in suits and whatnot? Like,
exactly.
And already
have a night
you
out.
feel like this energy of like, okay, like opera's not exactly something that's actually, typical for people.
No.
It's kind of new. Musicals maybe a little more so, but not opera. So I think that's going to bring a new energy.
And that's a beautiful one. I mean, I've
never heard it,
That's a
but
great introduction to an opera, right? It's one of the better operas out there. So if you enjoy music and you enjoy singing, I mean, you have to go. You really...
Got it. July 14th and 16th. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Judah. Judah's on the ball here. I'm not into this Instagram, Facebook
I suppose put you in the lead. You got to have all these.
Excuse me. Do
you
I
have
look
to
like
have
I
all
have
this
a
stuff
computer
than
in
me.
front
I'm
of me?
just a side guy with no knowledge.
You always play that. I'm an old guy. I don't know anything. Stuff.
That's why I do it. After 60, you can play the old guy and nobody says anything.
I know. Well, so there's so many exciting things going on in
It
Charlottesville. So definitely keep your eyes open. Xavier, I had a wonderful time today.
Michael, this has been great.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here with me.
I'm so happy in a way that Nick couldn't show up today.
Exactly. I'm happy too. That makes I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But as always, thank you to our presenter, Emerger Financial Services, our sponsors, Castle Hill Cider, Craddock Sirius Insurance, Charlottesville Opera, who's got some big events coming up, and Matias Realty, and last but not least, Forward Adelante, the Premier Business Networking Group.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
You got that perfectly well.
Hopefully I didn't mess that one up.
No, you did well.
And as always, thank you to the I Love Seville Studios.
You,
Jerry,
the audience.
thank you for Judah for making us look good, which when in our case is always difficult, but he manages somehow.
And the audience, thank you to the audience for watching us today.
Exactly.
That's without them. This,
yes, I know. I'm sorry. We probably weren't very good at taking audience questions because we're not on it. Listen, I have an excuse. I'm not on Facebook, on Instagram, so there's no one sending me questions. He's on Facebook.
Well, I didn't
he
have
probably
any,
got like 5 questions.
Look, Nikki had sent me the message.
They sent you
too.
text.
It said, Tosca, July 14th and 16th. There
we
you
go.
are. See?
So he had to message Judah to let us know.
But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
And I look forward to next week. I think we have Angela Windett and Margot Steinledge of Steinledge Insurance Agency.
Okay.
And then we're going to have Arepas on Wheels again. They got a new location, so they're going to come here and talk about that. And then we have Carolina Obando from Carolina Obando Beauty. I think she's been on before.
She's been on before, yeah. She's coming to see me, I think. That's what she said. So I'm going to have to be on that show.
She says she needs to beautify you. That's what it is, right? We got to take her to the beauty salon.
Some things just can't be done. But anyway, you can always try.
You can always try, right? Well, that was a lot of fun. We look forward to next week. I guess I have to close out, but until then, hasta mañana.